Morning, my brilliant, beautiful tribe of people. I love you this morning. And first, I want to start off saying I was participating in a training all weekend and didn't really know what was going on because I was living in a container of transformation and not, watching the television. So my heart does go out to everybody in Houston, anybody in the way of the storm. When I landed in actually Houston and Galveston. Hey, Melissa, how are you this morning? I landed in Houston to live there in 1983 when I briefly went off the road. I was actually performing with the Spiral Staircase back in the 80s, and I landed in Houston and performed in Galveston as well. And I remember, I think it was Hurricane Alicia maybe, in 83, I think, that came through and just wiped out Galveston and Houston, really. And I remember it well. I mean, it was pretty tough. So my heart again goes out to those people that are in the path of what's going on down there. It's heartbreaking. But what I wanted to speak into this morning, before I have some more client calls, my voice is slowly coming back from the training, is how you are source for everything in your life. And so I really want to speak into that because it's super important. It also comes along with knowing that you're responsible for everything in your life. So, hey, Shirley, good morning, girl. I miss you so much. It's been so long since I've seen you. Shirley Saunders, an incredible actress and vocalist whom I have not seen in years, and she and I used to perform together from time to time. Hey, Becca, how are you this morning? Hope you guys are doing really well. Let me know where you're from so I know what's happening, who's watching me. I've got people that are global. I mean, I'm talking to people from all over the world. It's so cool. I love it. Oh my God, it's having a global impact and reach. It's amazing. So anyway, what I'm speaking into today is how you are source for everything in your life. So first of all, the first thing that I want to relay to you now, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I was religious a long time ago and I gave that shit up. I just did because I had a lot of experiences that didn't serve me. And so I walked away. And so what I want to speak into is source, the meaning of source. Source is, the place where everything comes from. The thing that, it's source. It's the epicenter. It's the thing that, where creation is formed. And so if you think about it, calling yourself source is truth because you are God in human form. Now, if you don't believe that you get to believe whatever you want to believe. But my truth and what I've been living from and what my experience is that in this quantum field of all possibility, right? If we really are that, because we're not separate from that. I know in religion we think that we're separate from God. And how can we be separate from all things that exist? I mean, we live in a quantum field of all possibility, right? So we're part of source, right? We are source. We came from source, which is spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to name it. And so that's within us. There's nothing separate from that. We're in the field of all possibility, the quantum field of all possibility. We are divine rays of love and light, unique strands of the divine. That's just the way it presents. I mean, read into quantum physics and you'll see that. So if that's the case, right? So we are source. We are source. We are a piece of the divine, the source from which all things are created. Good morning, Bella. How are you, my love? It's good to see you here. So with that being said, I wanted to set the foundation. That means that we are actually source for everything in our lives, right? Everything that exists, this illusion, this quantum field, this hologram, everything. Hey, good morning, Doug. Hey, Katie. Everything that's here was created by source, right? Right? Even us, we were created by source. That means source is within us. So that means that we are source. So thank you, Bella. Yes, we are source, a piece of the divine. So if that's the case, you guys, remember, this is an illusion. This is a holographic experience that we're having, right? It seems real, but when you look under a microscope, in quantum physics, and you look at your arm, I mean, literally your arm is like 99.9999% invisible. Like there's nothing there. Okay. So we're energy. So we are source for everything in our lives. You guys, the reason I reach out and I'm staffing right now in ALA is because I spoke the other day into the fact that leaders are always students. Well, we are all students of life if we choose to be so. If you think you know something, then you better go with the program because just when you think you know, you don't know, or there's more to know, or there's more areas you get to grow. So the reason I'm staffing right now is to be able to see what I'm sourcing in my life. So I want you guys to look at this. So if there's something that isn't working for you in your life right now, or lots of areas, realize that you are sourcing that. There's nothing outside of you that's creating it. There's no one that a lot of people are into the blame game. I did that too for many, many years until I understood, right? When I went from marriage to marriage and relationship to relationship, right? What was the one piece that was true for all of those puzzle pieces in the equation? It was me. I was the common denominator, right? So we get to look at who we be, how we're showing up, what we're sourcing, what is showing up in our lives. So anything that's showing up in your life, now this goes in hand, you guys. If you're with me, let me know you're with me. Put a 1 in the box, put a yeah, I got you. I know Bella's with me. Are you guys hearing me? Questions, comments. I invite you to, just to write all those down so that I know that you're getting me, that you're with me. So again, we are source. We're responsible. Thank you. I know you're with me, girl. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. So again, we are creating everything. So responsibility it's our responsibility to create what it is that we want in our life, to source what it is that we want in our lives. So my experience, just to let you guys know, when I was staffing this weekend, it was phenomenal. It's very rigorous. It's urgent. It's we get to be in excellence on every level. And that's what we are, trying to achieve a degree of excellence. So what I noticed was there were a couple of areas where I felt disconnected, and then I would have disconnected Facebook lives, and disconnection was showing up in my life, which is crazy because I always look at myself as very connected. But I was also noticing like I didn't get cards done that I wanted to get written for my group, the students that I'm helping to co-captain. There were things that happened that led me to see that I was disorganized and disconnected in my life. And so when something shows up in one area, right? The saying, if it's showing up in one area, where is it showing up in other areas of your life? Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. That's true. It's so true. When you guys start practicing awareness, which is like the program that I'm actually asking you guys to join me in, the Insight Evolution program, the Insight Coaching program. It's about being aware of how we're creating, what we're doing, how we're communicating, what our values are, all that. Good morning, John. How are you? Thank you for joining me. So taking responsibility is super important. Seeing what's happening on your outer, in the outer realms, in your outer world, in your experience is super important because you are sourcing all of it. And there are a lot of people who, again, like to go into the blame game, the victim game. How could I be sourcing this? Like, I'm just this little individual and everything is separate from me and things are happening to me because I'm a victim. I'm a people pleaser. I'm whatever it is that I am. But your source, if you're truly source, which I can't see there would be any other possibility, right? You guys, again, we're part of the quantum field of all possibility. We are, the energy of source, of the universe, of spirit, of God, of whatever it is that you want to call it. We're not separate from any of that. Everything exists within this field. As a matter of fact, like I always talk about, which is mind-blowing, is that everything that's happening in every dimension is happening now. Because if it's true that all we have is the present moment, right? The past is gone, the future hasn't happened yet. We're here now in the present moment. If that is true, and how could it be otherwise? Then we're sourcing everything in this very moment. Everything is happening now. Everything in every paradigm, every dimension, everything is happening now. Blow your mind, right? I love quantum physics. Oh my God, seriously. Bruce Lipton, check him out if you haven't yet. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. The fact that we live in a ball in outer space is mind-blowing. The fact that, you know what I mean? Even though it's an illusion, the fact, the reality, the humanness that's showing up for that is freaking crazy. Right? Or I came from an egg and a sperm, and I grew in my mother's stomach for 9 months and I had my own daughter. And it's like, I had that experience, but it's crazy because I can't even grasp that. It's just miraculous, right? So remember, we're part of the quantum field of all possibility, part of the divine, which means we are part of source, which means we are source. Like I pray and I meditate and I talk to my angels and my guides, right? But ultimately, you are source. You get to choose. You're having this human experience to have an experience, right? Is anybody still there? Are you guys with me? Are you hearing me? Are you getting this? Is this resonating? Is this landing with you? And how is this showing up, guys, in your life? Seriously, we are source for everything. Thank you for the heart bombs. I always appreciate that. Lets me know you guys are awake. I know it's early. I've been up since 5, so it's not early for me. But anyway, we are sourcing everything. So just as my experience that I gave to you in my staffing experience, showing up disconnected, disorganized, and I came home to a desk I'm not even going to show you because I'm in the process of moving again for the second time in 5 months, which is phenomenal. I'm really happy. I'm going to miss my people here, but I'm going on to move in with my soul sister, Jill. And she actually is a part of ALA as well. That's where we met. And amazing things are happening. So that's all well and good. But I looked at my desk and I was like, holy crap, I've been disconnected. I haven't been committed all in. I am incredibly disorganized, right? So that's what I've been sourcing, and I saw it showing up in my staffing experience. I saw it showing up in my business. I've seen it showing up in other areas of my life. So remember, guys, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you're source, which you are, because you can't not be source when you're living in the field of all possibility, the quantum energy, the quantum field of spirit, the universe, because we are not separate from that, then you are the source. You get to choose. You get to set an intention. You get to create what it is that you want in your life. So if things aren't working for you, let me ask you that. What's not working for you in your life? What are you less than happy with? What are areas that you get to change? Where are you showing up in less than excellence? Where are things falling apart for you? Where are your breakdowns, right? Look at those areas of your life. And you will know it all comes back to you. You are source. Again, in relationships, right? I brought this up earlier, but for those of you that just joined, when you move from person to person to person and you think that you're going to find somebody different, unless you, the common denominator, changes from within and starts to change your ways of being, because who you be and how you show up in the world is what you cause in the world. That's how it works. Then things will not change. Good morning, Ria. How are you? Good morning. Thanks for joining me, you guys. So again, we are the cause. We are the source of everything in our lives. We are the common denominator in our lives. We are source. So we are creating everything in our lives. So you get to start practicing the art of, number one, making a decision to do it and commit, and stepping back from the victim story, taking responsibility that you are source. You're the only one in your life. You are source. Everyone in your experience is showing up as an actor on the stage of the one life to be a mirror for you, to be a teacher for you, to show you where you get to rise to excellence, or where you're off. That's what this is. It's an experience. Wake up, open your eyes, be aware. It's amazing. It's incredible, right? Then you get to set an intention, a strong intention, and baby steps. We're in the present moment. You can set an intention for down the line, but what is it you are committed to creating today? What are you committed to causing today? What are you committed to being the source of in your life today, right now, in this present moment? What are you seeing in your life that's not working that you get to change from within you, because you are source. You are creating it. You are, as Jenna Phillips Ballard always says, my dear sister, soul sister, she always says that, you're the flame. You're not the moth to the flame. You're the flame. You're the flame. You're the source of all things. So you get to commit to your life in greater ways. And if you want change, and if you really want to see things change in your life, reach out, number one, and get coaching and mentoring. I have had coaches for years now. We'll never not have coaches. Coaches that are well-known and successful have coaches and mentors, because if you're a lone wolf, it's really difficult to be held accountable, to change your ways of being and to move forward. That's just the way it is. And I resisted that for years. And that's why I turned into a coach. That's why I became a coach, because it so profoundly changed my life. That's why I'm staffing in ALA. That's why I'm reaching out. I'm trying to, not trying, there's either do or don't, right? But I'm desiring to reach a level of excellence that I don't have in my life now. We all get to work on stuff until the day we die, right? We're all imperfect. We all have things come up. Realize that your things that come up are going to always come up. They're always going to be there, but you get to see them, and you get to learn different ways of being, and you get to not buy into those stories anymore and those old ways of being. You get to take responsibility. You get to create, commitment, make a decision. You get to create an intention. You get to source whatever it is in your life. You get to source all of it. Like, truly, I'm getting the concept of that more and more every day, because you can create magic and miracles. If you think they're out there, they will always be out there. But the source of magic and miracles are coming from you, from source, because you are source, because you are God in human form, because you are part of the divine field, the quantum field of all possibility. And that's where things are created. Do you get that? You are divine creators of love and light. You are source. You are source for everything in your life. If there's something that you want, you get to create it. You get to be the source of that. You get to create an intention to step into that and be clear about what that is that you want or you desire, and you get to take action, stay committed, and move toward that. Guys, life experience it's I love you, Rhea. Life experience, right? This is a school. We're in school. We're having an experience. We're learning lessons. We get to stand in our power. We get to rise to greater levels, or we get to sink into the depths of despair, which is who we are not, which is why it's so comfortable when we're depressed or we're suffering or we're victims or we're people pleasers, because your very beingness, maybe not your ways of showing up in the world right now, who you be may not be that strong, powerful victim, individual that you want to be. You may be showing up as a victim and a people pleaser right now in this present moment. That's who you may be showing up as. Your ways of being may be that, but you get to change that. That's the cool thing. The power of intention, the power of creation, the power of being source, the power of commitment, the power of taking action, the power of dreaming and believing and seeing what's possible for you. You know, the power of play and visioning. And all those things that you left behind when you were a child are all at your disposal, all of them right here, right now, because you are the source. God is not going to come down from the sky and create what you want because you're asking or because you're pleading or because you're begging or because you feel that, you know, you've been a good girl or a good boy, right? Source is in you now. You are source. You are the creator. And I pray and meditate to the collective greater power that created all things. I didn't create the universe. I'm a piece of the source that created the universe. So I have a conversation and a relationship with that energy, because that energy, I always call God my CEO. God's the CEO of my company, right? God is the overseer of my life. God is not a man in the sky with a beard. God is an energy of love and light and all possibility. And I don't beg and plead. I just set my intentions, my expectations, and I speak my requests, and I speak love and gratitude to that source. And that's when my vibrations lift, because now you guys get this. Listen to me. Hear me, please. When you do that, you become that deliberate creator. You have that potential, all potential in you now. But until you connect to that, until you get out of your story, until you start rising higher and making a choice to be the God in human form that you are, you can't rise any higher. You'll stay where you are. And that's a choice. Your power lies in knowing your God in human form. Your power lies there. When you start to be in gratitude, when you start to raise your vibrations, when you start to live from a space of beingness, that's great. Like spirit is great. Power, love, gratitude, potential, creation, vulnerability, transparency, you know, all those things that are excellent in excellence. And when you feel that, right, Melissa? Hey, Paul. Hey, Joe. Thank you for joining me. Right, Melissa? When you're living in gratitude, it's impossible to feel despair. It's true. That's true, Melissa. You know, as you do this process and you connect to the source that you are, not that you have, or that's out there in the sky somewhere, you are source. Source is in you now. Source is in every molecule of everything you see in your existence right now. It's a giant hologram. It's a giant illusion. It's not even real. So when you connect to who you are, you connect to the gratitude of who you are. My God, we should all be on our faces every morning. When your vibrations start to rise, that's your connection to your source. That's your power as source. When you connect to source in that way, not going in prayer, in desperation and anger and victimhood and got to do this or I'm going to get punished or whatever that mentality is that religion creates. In my experience, that's why I left religion, quote unquote, organized religion. It didn't serve me personally. If you choose to do that, there are a lot of believers out there that actually are doing more of what I'm doing, more of a metaphysical approach, but they get to do it any way they want to. So there's no judgment as I say this. This is my experience. And my experience has been freaking powerful. But as you connect to your source, as you give gratitude and thanks to your source, as you see everything as possibility, as you see the miracles and magic that are already happening, you know, we always talk about wanting miracles and magic in our lives. God, guys, seriously, the fact that we're even here in this human physical form, having this physical experience, the fact that, again, we're living on a ball, supposedly in outer space that's revolving, that we're looking at stars, that we were birthed through our mothers from an egg and a sperm. I mean, that our hearts are beating with no batteries, that our lungs beat without us doing anything. And if we pass out, we start to breathe again eventually, right? Unless it's your day to go. Come on, guys. Miracles and magic are the theme of the day, of every day. Every day is a miracle. So if you're waiting for miracles, you're missing the miracle of you and the now. That's the miracle that's happening right now. Every day is magic and miracles. Every day is miracles and magic. Every day is all possibility. You are God in human form. You are living in the quantum field of all possibility. There's no source out there that's going to save you. You get to save you. You get to connect to that vibration of deep love and gratitude and all that there is. You get to or not, right? Oh, I love you, Joe. Thank you. You get to do that or not. But that is possible for you. And my mission is not all about authenticity, right? It's about authenticity, being who you are, which is so freaking amazing. I love my journey. But my journey is also, my mission also is to raise your awareness of who you are and how your ways of being show up in the world and how they create what you want or you don't want. So today I encourage you and I invite you to look around you in the world and see what's showing up for you. What's showing up for you? Do you have people who are shitty in your life? People that come up and they're not responsible. They don't pay you what they owe you. They don't, they diss you. They talk about you behind your back. Do you have situations that are falling apart right before your eyes? Because if you do, guys, be aware and awake. Everything in your outer world is not there to judge you. It's not there to make you, continue to keep you in victim phase. It's not there because you are being punished. It's not there because that's what you deserve. It's not there. It is strictly there. This is a universe of order. We have laws of the universe. We have order in this universe. Everything works on that premise, guys. Everything, even your existence. Everything you're seeing literally is a reflection of you. It's a mirror of your ways of being. So you are sourcing everything you get. And I know there are some people who are going to hate that and tell me I'm full of shit. It's true. I've had it in my own life. I've experienced in my own life. And the things that happen that show up, like when I lost my house to wildfire in 10 minutes and my daughter lost 2 houses to wildfire within 4 years, and then I developed breast cancer, I knew what they came from. They weren't from punishment. They were lessons and they were opportunities. Remember, our greatest challenges are our greatest opportunities and treasures and gifts for growth. So when I had the next door neighbor say to me, I didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, that's why my house burned down, I was heartbroken for her because she was totally disconnected. She's since passed away, right? But I knew my truth and it was a powerful truth, and I powerfully moved forward from that experience. Not because I created it because I'm so screwed up. I really created it as a gift to rise higher, to be in excellence, to be more awake and aware, to grow and to change. That was my universal 2x4. You want to grow and you want to be in excellence and you want to have a life worth living, you get to have this experience. And you get to either be a victim because of the experience, or you get to rise higher and you get to actually use it as an opportunity to grow incredibly in your truth and your ways of being. And that's what it did. So you're sourcing everything. And again, it's not about blame and judgment and all that crap that's out there. Get rid of that story. It's about truth, love, light, awareness. Everything in your experience is a mirror, reflecting back to you what you get to change, who you get to change to be in order to create the experience that you want, your source. You source your results. You source those people in your life. You source those experiences. That's just what happens. Truly, I hope you see that. It's an order. It's not like this big head story, right? Our heads take us into all this crap, all this bullshit, judgment, punishment. Oh my God, I'm a bad person. Oh my God, when I was 7, my parents did this and I'm not worthy. That's our story. Everybody's got stories, right? You get to either continue to buy into that, or you get to tap into the fact that you're God in human form. Guys, wake up. Wake up. You're God in human form. However you want to say that. You're a divine creator, a unique strand, living in the field, the quantum field of all possibility. What more could you want? And how much more magical could it be? So if you're waiting for magic and miracles and you're waiting for something to happen and you're having shitty experiences in your life, you get to shift that because you are source of everything in your life. And that's why I recommend coaching, mentoring, I'm not saying programs like, I'm talking about ALA, because there are programs out there and they do good work, but they're weekend programs. ALA actually shifted my entire ways of being and continues to, even as I staff. That's my choice. I choose excellence. I like going out for a beer every once in a while with my friends, and we do that. Even with the staff every once in a while when we're done, right? We get to go out and eat and hang out, right? My life is not all about, like living for the weekend, partying through the weekend, and holy shit, here comes Monday. Oh, crap. I'd rather be dead than have another Monday, right? My whole experience is about shifting my ways of being, becoming an excellence, even more than I've ever thought was possible for me, pushing through challenges, doing what's really hard, doing those stretches and jumping into the things that hurt, that are uncomfortable, that are stretching me out of my freaking mind, out of my comfort zone, and saying yes to them because I'm source. And if I'm truly source, the source that's created universes and all the other stuff that goes on out there that we don't even know about, right? Then I have the power to do anything I set my mind to, any intention I make. I have the power to do that. You have the power to do that. It's you. It's all of us. Tap into the magic and miracles you are. Create from that space. Commit to a life of excellence. Do the work that it takes. Do it till the day you're off the planet. And I promise you, if you do the work, you continue to show up. You get out of your head, get out of your victim stories, get out of your whining, quit buying in, because when you buy in, you perpetuate the story. And this is, I want you to actually go home and practice this before I get off this Facebook Live, you guys, right? Allow a situation to come up that challenges you. And again, it's your way of being, so look at it as an experience. Thank it for showing up for you as a reflection. You get to look at that. Right? Like I'll give you an example. And I think I gave this before when I was in my relationship with Robert, right? And we were doing this inner work. And he would do something that I felt he was doing to me. He would trigger me or whatever. Something would happen. An experience would happen where I got triggered. And my initial reaction was, well, he did that to me. And then I'd look at it and I go, well, there's no way I'm responsible for that because I didn't do that. I didn't say, I did nothing to create that. How did that happen to me? And I would go into that story and it felt big and deep and like there was no bottom to it as a black hole, right? And then I would find that I'd stay in that story and it would be another day or two later that we were giving each other silent treatment, right? And I was like, this is bullshit. And then of course, most of us go to, this is fucking crazy. I just went out. This is bullshit. This relationship isn't working for me. He doesn't get me. He's triggering me, right? There's this whole thing that happens. The story perpetuates the actual experiences that you have. But look at it. My ways of being were such that for some reason I did something. My ways of being created something within him that triggered him or created or caused him to do something. We're the cause, right? And he showed up as a mirror, a reflection back at me. My shit back at me. And I got to see that and I got to look at that. So then I experimented. This is the experiment. This is the part you get to choose. Then another time something came up and I knew I needed to take responsibility for my 100% of the relationship. Something happened, triggered me. I looked at it. My initial habitual ways of being would say, he did this to me. Wow, shit, what? And then I made a choice one day to say, okay, I'm responsible. I don't know how I'm responsible. I even said this. This was my dialogue. How am I responsible for this? How did I create this? How would I, I didn't do, how am I responsible? And then I said to myself, okay, I don't see how I'm responsible, but I take this on. Hey, Michelle, my love, I love you. So I take this on. I'm responsible for what I'm creating in my life. And I'm just going to say that whatever it was that I thought he did that triggered me was actually something that my ways of being were creating. I was causing something in him. So I took responsibility. Well, the really cool thing is, guys, that if you Practice this. You have a situation come up where you feel that somebody's done something to you and you want to blame them. You have two choices. You get to go into your story, blame them, and perpetuate that story of feeling like shit, being right, and following that down the rabbit hole and see where that takes you. Or you have the opportunity to choose the other side, which is I'm responsible for what I'm creating because my ways of being are what's causing someone to do something. And that person is a mirror reflection of me, showing me where I get to change. Right? There are two ways you get to go, and you get to practice it. And I guarantee you, if you commit to this, it'll show up for you regularly so that you get to choose and you get to go back and forth and play and see which one feels better. I mean, there was one day that I decided to blame just because I wanted to be right and it felt good. And I was not going to be responsible that day. And so I allowed myself to go there. But I realized it wasn't serving me or anybody else. And so the next time something came around, even though my ego was like, what, you're not responsible, right? And I was fighting it. I said I was responsible. And magic and miracles happen from that space. When you're the source, when you're responsible, when you create magic and miracles, when you create anything, when you cause anything in the world, it's a reflection, a mirror. You get to look at that. You get to choose your response. And you get to, if you start doing the work, look at how you're creating it and how you get to create something different. If that's not serving me, how do I show up? How do I get to show up in the world? What do I get to shift? What do I get to do? What do I get to be? What do I get to change that actually creates the results that I'm looking for in my life, in relationship, in businesses, in life, literally in every area of your life? How do you get to show up? What are your ways of being? What are you causing? If you don't like what you're seeing, you are the source and you get to shift to be or not. I always follow it up, you guys, with the or not, because you get to choose. How do you want to live your life? If you're constantly complaining and things aren't working out, I invite you to look at your ways of being, what you're causing, and what you get to shift to create what you want. Right? That's where your power lies. Hey, Paul, thank you. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah, we do get to be who we're here to be. But again, that's a choice, Paul, right? There are a lot of people that choose to stay in their victim story, and that's their choice. And I will continue to reach out and remind people that they are source, that they are part of the divine, their divine, unique strand of source, and they have all power, all potential. I'm impossible is I am possible. Start doing word studies, guys. Start doing the word studies. You are God in human form. You have all potential, all power. There is a creator that's greater, the energy of that which created everything, but that which created everything gave you the power and potential to create, be the deliberate source, deliberate creator of this experience. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. You should be on your face, right? All right, you guys, I've got some coaching calls coming up and I love you so much. And I just really wanted to drive that point home to you because it's so powerful. So I really would appreciate if you guys would share out this video to people that you believe would really be served by this information or reminded that they get to show up in that way, because we all need reminders, because life is an interesting journey, right? We're faced with a lot of challenges. And if we're not reminded, even I need to be reminded. That's why I'm staffing, because I get to be in excellence and I get to rise higher, and that's my choice. So please share this to friends, family, tribes, communities, pages where you believe that they would be best served and supported by this information, because I believe it's one of the greatest things that we get to share with other people so they can start stepping up and in. Okay. And then I will be landing. I'm moving this week, and I'm actually moving a little bit next week too. But next Thursday, I'm going to resume my regular Facebook Lives, 3 o'clock on Thursdays. And we're going to get back into the conversations about authenticity, how you really are, your brilliance of the brilliance of who you are, and how you get to show up as that. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Okay. All right, you brilliant beings. I love you so much. You have an amazing day. And please share this out. Please join me next Thursday at 3 p.m. for my Facebook Live. And I'll be jumping on here with more information as I am feeling it to bring you whatever Spirit wants me to bring you. That's my job. All right. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. Thanks for joining me. Everybody who was here, thank you so much. I love you all so much. I see you. You're brilliant. And you've got this. You've totally got this. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.